Or maybe he told her about the Rosicrucians and their ancient and secret magic rituals. This was the first time that Leola felt that she had heard the voice of her destiny. She decided then she would go in search of that knowledge.
Perhaps Vera is right. I sensed the mystery and rushed to find it. I felt there had to be a place on earth where pure knowledge was safely guarded. Knowledge about the universe, about God and man. From the teaching of Catholic missionaries, I learned that within one of the great mountains of the Himalayas there was a city of eternal light, a kind of paradise where saints lived, those masters who chose not to move on to eternal bliss in order to continue to help humanity here on earth. I was sure I could reach that place, overcoming all obstacles in my way. And that is what led me to India and the remote mountains of the Himalayas.
From the beginning, man has often not recognized the truth and, instead, has opted for the lies. So true knowledge has been hidden. Now, who has true knowledge? The great teachers from the snowy mountains. Oh, teacher, what must I do in order to attain wisdom?
The teachers, or gurus, instruct the student, or chela, on the different methods of psychic development, based on the extraordinary potential of the human mind. The Tibetan mystics have always kept secret the nature of their studies, just like the initiates of the ancient mystery schools. I also took a vow not to reveal anything about this period of my life. All I can say is that thanks to the Tibetan teachers, I developed my psychic abilities.
Those who accept theosophy are inspired by a constant search for divine wisdom and God's kingdom within.
The study of the sacred texts of the East provided me with the key. Thanks to the isolation of the Himalayas, the coding of the ancient teachings, and the lack of interest among Europeans in accepting and understanding the esoteric world, the secret doctrines were protected. Those secret teachings cannot be completely revealed. Part of them will always need to be safeguarded from those who are ignorant.
Together and all at once, the peaceful and wrathful deities come before the dying man, filling the whole of space. If he does not recognize these as his own projections, then they transform into the terrifying image of the Lord of Death, with gnashing fangs and glassy eyes. This too is his own projection, but if he does not accept that, His fear and turmoil force him to wander on in terror to the bardo of rebirth.
This is Madame Blavatsky, whose Theosophical Society, the whole goal of the Theosophical Society was to create a unity among religions. In other words, water down Christianity, make it bland, make it simple, turn it into absolute nothingness, and then mingle it with all of the other religions. And of course, she was a Satanist, a Luciferian. And, you know, what gets me is she says there is no religion higher than truth, right? And here's the serpent eating his tail. You see it? Not the symbol on top. The serpent eating his tail was the symbol that Benjamin Franklin used. Benjamin Franklin has been considered the greatest proponent of colonial Freemasonry that we ever had. And one of Blavatsky's statements was, what is one to do when in order to rule men it is necessary to deceive them?
And I warn everyone who feels inclined to study anything about Theosophy or its founder to be extremely careful. Everything about it is a lie, a deception, a fraud.
Why did he go on to publish his book in which he called my sister the greatest liar and trickster of our century?
I asked her how long she was planning to stay in Paris, and her reply was, "My master will tell me." And I heard the sounds of silver bells.
How I produced music out of thin air. Simple. I wave my hand and there is music. It is impossible to teach those kinds of things. How could I teach him? Had he been able to learn from all my experiences in India, perhaps he would have been able to do such things.
Once when I was getting ready to leave Helena Petrovna's house and was putting on my coat in her lobby, Madame Blavatsky, who was standing near me, clumsily dropped something on the floor. I picked it up and, smiling, handed it back to her. It was a pretty silver object of Oriental craftsmanship. All the guests present noticed that she was quite embarrassed by the incident.
It was said that she left her husband to become a trick rider in the circus. Traveling alone, she entered forbidden Tibet. She was a spiritual genius and the mother of the New Age. On the other hand, there are those who say she was a fraud, whose one real talent was that she knew how to tell a good tale.
My work will not be accepted until the 20th century.
सकलप्रदात्रे नमः ॐ भक्ताभसम्भेदन दृष्टिवज्राय नमः ॐ क्षमासुरेन्द्राय नमः ॐ हरिपाद कञ्जनिषेवणालब्ध समस्तसम्पदे नमः ॐ देवस्वभावाय नमः ॐ दिविजद्रुमाय नमः ॐ इष्टप्रदाय नमः ॐ भव्यस्वरूपाय नमः ॐ भवदुःखतूल सङ्घाग्निचर्याय नमः ॐ सुखधैर्यशालिने नमः ॐ समस्तदुष्टग्रह निग्रहेशाय नमः ॐ दुरत्ययोपप्लवसिन्धुसेतवे समस्तदुष्टग्रह निग्रहेशाय नमः ॐ दुरत्ययोपप्लवसिन्धुसेतवे